Across the star-spanning holographic display, Earth hung as nothing more than a pale blue sphere, an easy target. They believed, a fragile jewel waiting to shatter. The Council's admirals and strategists watched as simulations unfolded, alien fleets descending, bombardments leveling cities, human armies collapsing within a handful of hours. They spoke of timelines, probabilities, and logistics with the detachment of gods weighing ants. The Terrans lacked the discipline, the weapons, and the will, sneered a Xylari warlord, its armored mandibles clacking with amusement. 4 hours at most before their defense crumbles. Perhaps less. Another Renelder of the Kerry laughed, its voice like grinding stone. 2 hours. I've seen their fleets patch together relics, machines held with glue and desperation. Their courage will vanish the moment fire rains from the sky. The chamber rang with laughter. Bets were placed. The consensus, Earth would beg for mercy before the day was done. Only one voice, old and weary, cautioned otherwise. The Thren archivist leaned forward, his translucent skin glowing faintly in the Council's light. You measure them by your standards. You think them weak because they lack what you possess. But you do not yet understand their greatest strength. Pray you never have to. But his warning was drowned beneath the Council's laughter. The vote was cast. The invasion was approved. Humanity's end was scheduled like a trivial performance. The Armada entered. Saw with the confidence of executioners, thousands of ships, banners of every great empire shimmering across the void, stretched like a steel curtain around the system. Dreadnoughts unleashed fire upon Neptune stations, erasing them in seconds. Martian colonies fell beneath a storm of plasma. Earth's orbital defenses, those the Council deemed laughably outdated, were expected to last no longer than minutes. The admirals leaned back in their command thrones, smug and certain. But then, the anomaly appeared at first. It was small fleets of mining rigs and transport swarming in coordinated packs. Improvised weapons, crude but lethal, shredded scouting parties. Destroyers vanished in asteroid fields where obsolete drones waited in ambush. The admirals dismissed it. Resistance, futile. It will not last. Then the resistance grew teeth. Human ships patched uneven, strange, moved with precision that defied expectation. They struck at weak points, targeting fuel lines, navigation cores, and communication relays. They did not fight like prey. They fought like predators. And when the Armada reached Earth itself, they learned the truth. The bombardment began. Beams of annihilation lanced through the void, meant to burn the planet to ash. Instead, they bent, they scattered, they died against an invisible lattice of light. From orbit, satellites that had once masqueraded as weather arrays linked together, forming shields strong enough to repel firepower thought unstoppable. The admirals froze. This was not in the simulations. And then Earth answered. From the oceans rose submarines that were not submarines, but leviathans of steel and plasma, bristling with launch bays. From mountains erupted silos that spat spears of fire into the heavens. Civilian vessels, merchant craft, passenger liners, freighters revealed hidden armor and weapons, rising into battle. The planet became a fortress. The people became an army. Within the first 20 minutes, entire squadrons of alien ships were burning. Within 40 dreadnoughts, the pride of the Council, lay torn apart. And within 60 minutes, the Armada began to beg. The humans did not simply fight. They hunted. They used tactics the galaxy had never seen: reckless dives, feints, sacrifice runs that seemed like madness until they ripped through formations with devastating precision. Their technology, crude by alien standards, was wielded with terrifying creativity. The invaders had come expecting a species on its knees. Instead, they faced predators who had evolved under constant war, who had clawed their way through every disaster their world had thrown at them. And humanity was not just defending, they were retaliating, from the dark side of the moon. War platforms awoke. Colossal cannons, hidden for generations, powered on. They were not elegant. They were brutal, monstrous. When they fired, the void itself seemed to scream. Entire fleets vanished in blasts of light. Alien commanders begged for reinforcements. Others pleaded for retreat. Signals of panic cascaded across the Council's networks. By the second hour, what was meant to be Earth's funeral became the greatest massacre in the Council's history. Retreat was attempted, but humanity allowed none. Their forces surged outward, chasing down survivors. Boarding parties stormed alien ships, cutting through hardened warriors like knives through silk. Human engineers hacked enemy systems, turning their own weapons against them. The Council, watching from afar, sat in horrified silence. Their proud fleets were gone, their arrogance shattered, their certainty turned to fear. The archivist's words echoed through the chamber. You do not yet understand their greatest strength. Now they did. Humanity's strength was not numbers, not technology. It was refusal, the refusal to kneel, to surrender, to break. And it was that refusal that ended the battle in minutes, not hours. When the last alien vessel burned, a transmission went out not just to the survivors, but across the entire galaxy. A human commander appeared on screen. His armor was scorched, his face bloodied, his eyes alive with fire. You came to our world expecting victory. You thought we would beg. You thought we would break. Instead, you begged. Instead, you broke. Remember this day. Remember what happens when you underestimate humanity. You wanted our end, what you got was your extinction. The transmission ended. The galaxy trembled, and in the silence that followed, the Council finally understood the truth. They had not witnessed Earth's destruction. They had witnessed the birth of their nightmare.